Welcome back everybody to another Feel Your Sound tutorial. This time we talk about trance chord progressions. And I will use Sundock Song Studio for that. Sundock is a standalone software that connects to any DAW via MIDI. So when I press a chord here, as you can see, it will play back the sound in Ableton Live. Okay, let's start with the scale. In trance productions, we nearly always use the minor scale. It sounds quite emotional, a little bit dreamy, a little bit sad as well, and that's the type of sound that we want. For the root note, we usually use the notes D to A. In my example, I will work with an F minor scale because I think that it sounds quite nice with my synths, especially with my bass sounds and the kick. Okay, what we see here is the main chords page of Sundock. So we have triads over here and 4-note chords down here. But for trance, we usually only work with triads. In the beginning, I would recommend to stick to the blue row here, but of course you can also take other buttons as well. The first blue chord is the most important chord of the scale. And I would recommend to use this chord at least once in your progression, either in the beginning or in the end. I will use it as my first chord, and now we can move on to other chords. The most important chords for trance productions are the standard minor and major chords. And another Sundock tip, when you click on a chord, you play it back as usual. But when you do a right click, you play the same chord one octave below. In my example, I start with F minor and now I will add some other chords. It sounds like this. As you can see, that's already a good way to hear how the chords sound together and to get something going quite quickly. But here's another tip for you. Let's click on Use Chords. If you don't know Sundock yet, Sundock is a special type of sequencer. It's especially interesting for songwriting and song sketching. The main concept? You start with the chords and then you use the built-in sequencer to play harmonic melodies and rhythmic chords that always fit to your chord progression. Like this. Let's quit the solo mode and listen to everything at once. Now let's get back to the chords page and activate Settings, Chords View, Real-Time Preview. This way you can listen to the chords in context of the whole song when you press play here. In trance productions, we usually don't use standard chords, but we use so-called open chords. An open chord is a chord that is similar to this one, but we move single notes one octave up. So now the chord sounds like this. And before, it sounds like this. So this sounds more open, more airy, and that's a quality that we need for our trance songs. I will do the same with the other chords. And usually I keep the first chord closed, so I don't use an open chord here because I think it's interesting when the chords open up more and more in the course of the progression. So let's listen to it again. The whole song sounds much more like a trance track now. So the first step is use mostly major and minor chords. The second step, open these chords up a bit. And in the third step, we put some linking chords between some of our main chords. So far, the chord progression was quite long and there was not much movement going on. But of course, we want some action and some flow, and we can do this with extra chords. For example, in this position here, I want to add a chord type called suspended chord. Let's try this one. Let's listen to a minor chord again. And this is a suspended chord. As you can hear, it's more powerful, it contains more tension, and when we listen to such a chord, we want relief. So let's open it up again. And I would like to add another minor chord like we used over here. And it sounds like this. So, these are the main tips for trance chord progressions. But I want to show you another tip. I already prepared another chord progression, and in this chord progression I use another type of chord, and that's the so-called power chord. The power chords are always in this line and they end on 5. Let's get back to a major chord. As you can see, a major chord consists of 3 different notes: C sharp, F, G sharp. And a power chord only has 2 notes: C sharp, G sharp, and here we have another C sharp again. So there are not 3 notes but only 2 notes. And this type of chord sounds quite powerful on the one hand, but also quite airy on the other hand. So major and minor chords are the most important chords for trance, and from time to time you can use suspended chords or power chords. And as always, when we are ready with our progression, we can take this MIDI symbol and drag it to our DAW, and then we can use these chords in our DAW as usual. Another tip, there's a free download waiting for you. I created a package called Trance Explosion, and the package contains chord progressions for Sundog, it contains rhythmic patterns, arpeggios, bass lines, and everything else you need for your next track. So get it at feelyoursound.com, it's a free download without registration, and I hope you like it.